Hey guys, welcome to Deep South. I'm Wanda and we're in the kitchen today. And I've had many people ask me, what do you do to make a cream sauce and a thickener? Instead of using cream of mushroom or cream of broccoli or cream of chicken or whatever, cream of cheese, whatever you use, I have a recipe for cream of that you can add anything you want to it. So what I'm doing today, I'm making a casserole and I need a cream of in my casserole. So first off, I have ground beef. This ground beef was some that Danny and I did, we ground up ourselves. We have a friend that owns a butcher shop, a slaughterhouse or a processing plant, whatever you want to call it. Be politically correct, okay? We bought some slabs of beef from her and ground it ourselves and wrapped it. What I'm doing is browning the ground beef. So you're going to hear it in the background. The ground beef is going to be browned, and we have a jar of squash and potatoes that was canned in June of 19. So it's a year old, and the little bit of squash is going to mash down to nothing. The potatoes are going to be our filler. Salsa from June of 19. I'm going to use just a portion of the salsa. I'm not going to use all of it, probably about maybe a cup. Carrots from March of 19. So we're going to use the whole pint of carrots. Green beans from June of 17. So we're going to use this whole pint of carrots. So we're making a big casserole, okay? Alright, so we've got the meat browning. What we're going to do is move over here to make the cream of now. So for the cream of, we need basically 3 ingredients: milk, butter, and flour. It's very simple, very easy. And I'm taking the meat off so that I don't have a sound in the background so much. So we're going to turn the meat off. Okay, so for Danny to eat this, I have to make it gluten-free. What I'm doing is going to show you 2 ways, or tell you 2 ways to do it. If you use regular flour, then use regular. If not gluten-free, use a gluten-free flour. What I'm doing, I'm taking butter. Mine is unsalted sweet cream butter. Okay, I'm pretty sure just about any kind of lard, any type of margarine, salted butter, all of that would work. Even oil would probably work. You don't have a problem. All you need is about 3 tablespoons. We're going to put 3 tablespoons of butter in there and melt it down. And an easy way to melt butter is to cut it into smaller pieces and lay it flat. We're melting the butter now. So while the butter is melting, we're going to open up our canned goods. The carrots, and I'm going to drain everything. Green beans, and this is the potatoes and squash. And one reason we put a few squash in the potatoes is because we would be making soups or a casserole that included both potatoes and squash. And they both can at the same amount of time, 40 minutes. So you can do a jar with squash and potatoes in it. Now, the salsa is the only thing I'm not draining. I'm going to put about a cup of salsa in here. And you don't really want the juice from it, you just want, this. We're going to mix all this together, add our ground beef, which has been drained. We just mix all this together. We're going to add a little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper, And that is looking great. I'm gonna go back now to our cream of. Okay, the cream of now, you can see it's all melted, the butter is. That's 3 tablespoons. Now, if you're using self-rising flour, you're going to use 3 tablespoons of self-rising. I'm not. I'm using a gluten-free all-purpose. And all-purpose self-rising, it really doesn't make a big difference to me. I do the one that doesn't have the self-rising. And I'm going to put 3 good size tablespoons of gluten-free flour. And I'm going to mix that in the butter. Alright, so the butter's melted, the flour's in here, and y'all, I don't think Pampered Chef makes this, but it's called a mini whisk from Pampered Chef. But this is like the most awesome whisk I've ever had in my life. I just sit and mix everything together like this, and I've got it on a kind of a lower heat. I've got to turn it up a little bit, and it just takes stuff off. Let it get good and hot, and you can use regular milk. I am using almond milk because of Danny's issues, stomach issues, but we're using almond milk. But regular milk works just fine, just like regular flour. And what I do is I pour a little in, and I take my whisk and I kind of do this. It's already, you see how thick it is? Pour a little more. And I take the whisk and this whisk just gets the lumps out. That's what you're doing. And if it keeps thickening really fast, that's what you're wanting. For the rest, and just keep whisking. You want it a little smooth, and let it sit there. I'm going to leave it on a medium, and we're going to just keep whisking, keep it going, and if it let it thicken up, probably just a couple of minutes or so, because you don't want it to lump. You want it to look like this, only thicker. There's a lump, so if you find a lump, you just work with it. And this whisk will do the work. That's what it's looking like. Now we need it a little bit thicker. Right now it's kind of a soupy mix. We want it a little thicker. Alright, I can feel it's getting thick in the bottom, and you don't want it to burn, and you do not want it to scorch or get too thick, but without stirring. And like I said, I'm using the whisk. Alright, you see the consistency is getting thicker already. Almost like a white gravy. Basically, that's kind of what you're doing. And it's getting thicker as it cooks. Now you can add salt and pepper to this. If you want cream of chicken, you could add chicken broth instead of the almond milk. If you wanted cream of mushroom, you could add your mushrooms in now. Cream of cheese, you can add cheese in now. Cream of onion, you can add your onions, whatever you want to flavor it. If you'd rather have a beef flavoring, you could add beef broth. And you see the consistency now. It's very, very thick now. So I'm turning the stove off because it's almost to the consistency I want. You can see that. That is what I'm wanting. Now, I'm not adding anything to mine. I'm adding mine very plain to my mixture. Alright, I'm going to be adding what's left of some onions that we chopped up last year and froze. So I'm cleaning this bag out. I'm going to mix that up in here. So we have a few onions. We're going to add our cream of, and you can see how thick the cream of is now. Perfect. It equals out to about a can of cream of whatever you just bought. It took 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, and 1 cup of milk or broth to make this. And like I said, you add in any ingredients that you want to make a cream of something. Now we're going to just stir it in to the casserole. And this is a great way to use any vegetables. You do not have to use what I used. You can add any or all of these veggies, and plus you can use fresh veggies. But basically, this is already done. I'm just going to be baking it to melt the cheese and cook all this flavor together. I'm going to put a handful of cheese in there. Now I could have added the cheese into the hot mixture while ago and melted it. Would have done the same thing. I just didn't. I added it later. It's not going to make a difference. Cheese is cheese added into it. It makes it good no matter when you add it. That is all there is to making a simple cream of whatever soup. Now we're going to put it into our dish and bake it. And I am putting it in a 9 by 13. Spread it out like this. And if you have fresh squash, fresh onions, fresh peppers, fresh potatoes, fresh carrots, you can make this. It just has to cook a little longer. This is just a way to use your canned goods and make a good cream of. This will last me and Danny several meals. About 3 meals each. So I get approximately 6 servings out of this casserole. We're going to put it in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes, just checking it so it heats all the way through, and it will toast this on top, and then we'll take it out. So while I'm waiting on the casserole to cook, I clean up my dishes. I make sure everything gets cleaned up. I don't like to leave my dishes undone, and I'm waiting on a video to upload. I've got clothes that's been washing and drying, and I've got some that's got to be folded. People want to know, how do you do all this in a day? I just do it. We'll do all these dishes and get back. Our casserole should be done. Danny and I will be ready to eat. But that's the way you make a simple cream of. You can use any type of flour, like I said, self-rising or gluten-free, which was not self-rising. It's still thickened up. I found no difference in either one of them. You use 3 tablespoons of flour, 3 tablespoons of butter or oil or whatever you're using, and 1 cup of milk. You can add half a cup if you need to. If it looks like it's too thick for you, you can thin it down. It's up to you. But you can add in any kind of flavorings you want afterward. Easy, peasy, ready to go. Plus with the casserole, it's a great way to use up leftovers. If you have something, a bite of this, you can put chicken, you can use ground beef, you can use turkey, you can use pork, whatever. Whatever meat you have, you can add. You can mix your meats. If you have a little bit of each one left over, throw it in it. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like a soup. You can add whatever you want. Whatever veggies you have available, fresh or frozen or canned or leftovers. Add it to it. Make you a casserole, make a cream of, pour over it, throw in a little cheese, good eating. So Danny and I are going to try this in about 30-45 minutes and give you a taste test. All right, it's out of the oven. It looks awesome. But we have a tile pickup, so we're going to the road to get some tile that is being delivered, and we will be back to taste test in a few minutes. Isn't that beautiful, guys? All right, guys, Danny's in. We're going to do a taste test of our veggie casserole with a homemade cream of. Cream of. You ready?
I'm ready.
Actually, very hungry, aren't you?
I am. I'm really hungry. We just got through unloading a bunch of material. Looks good.
Smells good. All right.
Okay.
Use the fork.
Yeah, it's got a good smell to it. Is this all for the place?
Yes. Came out of jars. We have
Ground meat in it?
the ground meat was what we, the last meat that we got.
Canned?
No, this is not canned meat. I just
Okay.
ground it.
Oh, you just ground it, okay.
Yeah, it was the meat that we ground up.
Yeah.
So it's carrots, green beans, squash, potatoes, the cheese that came from the store.
Mm. Mm. You put salsa in or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And salsa. I forgot salsa.
Salsa. I think for poor country people, we live like kings.
It's pretty awesome, guys.
Mm.
This is a quick, easy way to make your casseroles.
That's good. God.
Use your canned, jarred food. It makes a huge casserole. Danny and I will eat at least 3 times, so that's 6.
Oh, we probably eat more than that.
6 helpings at least.
At least 6, yeah.
Yeah. So, if you got kids, great way to take those jars, mix them up, make something good. And the cream of is really easy. You saw 3 ingredients. Takes just a few minutes, and you're ready to eat.
It's gluten-free too, right?
Yes, this was gluten-free, and I showed them how to do the regular. I told them how to do regular flour. Same difference. Just change your flour, your milk, whatever.
That's pretty good, guys. I wish there was some way I could just let them get a taste of it, or if there was some way, you know.
The only way is to have to visit.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just, that is the best taste. Mm.
It's got a good taste.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go to a high-end restaurant and get that. I mean, I'm telling you, that's.
Miss Wanda's Kitchen is a high-end restaurant.
It's a high-end, all right, but I'm telling you, there ain't nothing in the world. I have never went to a store, a restaurant, or anywhere and got anything that tastes that good. Truck stop, I mean, I've eaten a whole lot of places in my life, but
our food is good, guys.
Our food is, that's good food right there.
So, cream of it. It's easy to do. This vegetable casserole, whatever you want to call it, was easy to do. Guys, we'll talk to you later.
Oh, thank you guys from Deep South Homestead. This ain't gonna make 6 servings. Be lucky if it makes 4. This is some good stuff. I'm on my 2nd helping.